7 o'clock?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna call the meeting to order. And we'll have the pledge of allegiance. Dr. Lead us, Mick.
Sir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There a motion to approve the agenda?
All for attendees first.
Yeah, okay, I'll do that first. We'll have roll call.
Supervisor Bossard.
Here.
I'm here. Treasurer Kowalski.
Here.
Trustee Woods.
Here.
Trustee Wright.
Here.
5 present. A quorum.
All right. Now is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same. Okay. The reports. Permits issued when you the fire chief's not here. Hopefully he's not on anything bad. Treasurer.
Yep, so we'll put a copy of the treasurer's report here and on the table. No big changes, basically just growth in our CD. Our next maturity is October 14th. So.
Okay. Station 1, Aaron have anything?
No, I sent him an email on Friday, and requested an update. So when I get that, if he gives it in writing, I'll make sure that board members get a copy of the thing. I asked him for an update on the punch list and an update on the certificate of occupancy list items.
Enhanced patrol activity.
He contacted me today and asked if it was all right if he could give a multi-month report at the September meeting. He's not quite back to work yet after his surgery.
All right.
And I told him, see you in September.
Okay. All right. Planning Commission.
Oh, gosh, there's a few things going on with the planning commission. Remember them all? Oh. First off, we're having a workshop tomorrow evening to go over the city of Marshall's future plan. So that will be a lively discussion, I'm sure. And we have a zoning board of appeals scheduled for 19th of September, I believe. Ish.
Yeah, middle of September.
Middle of September sometime.
Yeah, there's a specific time and it'll be, or date and time, it'll be at 6 o'clock and there will be the items.
Yeah, and that's to put the finishing touches on our zoning map. So we can, once we get the appeal process completed, we can take those changes over to the county and have them update it, and they can give us a new map and we can proceed from there.
Quite a process.
Yeah, it has. And from the last planning commission meeting, we are moving ahead with a township survey. And I think you guys have been received on some of the email messages on that. It looks to be pretty well founded, and so it looks like it's going to go, and we're in that process. So I think that's all I have.
Okay. PA 425 subcommittee.
So, I see something, but there is a letter which the board, I don't think we really, I guess I should have made a motion to remove that from the agenda. We don't really need to approve it. It was approved at the last meeting to go out. It was just, it took a while to get it from the lawyers and took a while for us to edit it. I think Mick was the last one to give some input. So that letter should be updated. Was hoping today, but, and it basically speaks to the water franchise. The lack of having a water and sewer franchise with the city, and or Maida.
Yeah, and I think it was good because it basically gave a window of time that we'd like to hear a response by them. And it also says that we want to sit down at the table and talk with them about it. So I felt like it was a good letter in the sense it laid out like the sequence of events, what happened, and where our position is on what's important to us in that thing, but saying we want to sit down and have a conversation.
If you read the letter, I mean, essentially it spells out what has happened is illegal. It's, they can't put pipes through your jurisdiction without a water franchise agreement. Emmett went through the same thing. And Rob Thal worked that out with Emmett as well.
Okay. Communications.
There's a budget report
I
through,
missed you.
that's through the end of July. And a budget, this shows it on a line item basis, but the budget, as you know, is that's on a departmental basis. And it doesn't appear that there's anything of concern at this particular point. We get a little more into the detail, and usually any adjustments of the budget start with a 6-month review of the budget. And I'll just say, they don't show here because there's 0 appropriations. But the fire department, I did set up the separate expenditure accounts in the fire department for new Station 1 bills when they start coming in. So that we got a handle on that particular side of things.
Jeff, is there any feedback from the audit?
No, because they're still doing it. That typically is in September. We'll have that hopefully in time for the September board meeting.
Okay.
Yeah. I will just say that during the time they were on site, they weren't here an abnormal amount of time. They used to be here for a week. They're here now for about 2 days. We send them things. They were here 2.5 days this time. So far, we've been able to give them copies of whatever they wanted.
Okay. Communications from the township attorney conveying dismissal order regarding the Sadler complaint from the Michigan Department of Civil Rights. And at this time, we'll open it up for public comment on listed agenda items.
Hello, Joanna Johnson, Marshall Township. I just wanted to touch base on the ordinance 2025-01 related to Consumers Energy Company gas and or electric franchise ordinance. Just trying to understand more about that. Is this something new? What is the reason for it? Also concerned ensuring the length of time for the agreement, although it does say that either party can revoke it upon 60 days written notice. Where exactly is this? Is this anywhere in the township? And is this further utility expansion within our township? And to ensure that all necessary permits are obtained if it's in the public right of way and space. So just want to learn more about what exactly this is, why it's necessary now, and ensuring that it's protecting our township related to any utility expansion. Thank you.
That's item 4 on the new business. And Greg Moore from Consumers is here when we get to that particular item. He will explain that, and you also were given a copy of the attorney's review of it. We did make a change to it from 30 to 10 years.
Anyone else has comment? Seeing none, we'll close the public comment time. Discussion, update items.
Yeah, so I was really just looking, and it doesn't look like we'll have anyone here to update us, but on the status of the utilities disconnected from the fire station, the old fire station 1. I know the well was plugged at the wellhead. Not sure if the township is not going to use that well, it should probably be abandoned, but I guess I don't know if that's been discussed. And I really have no idea what they did, to be honest with you. Well, that Greg came in, and I think he was involved in making sure the internet connection was okay after they were done. That's all I know. I don't know if anybody else has any information. And I guess Jeff just said that they'll repair the ground after it's settled, it sounds like, because there's quite a bit of digging back here. And then I assume the utilities ran out the back over there, and then underneath so I know some of them, like the alarm system and stuff,
Yeah.
was out the back, and they dug a trench over there at the end of the parking lot. So I assume some of it was over there, but it'd be kind of nice to know what took place, I guess.
Or like, do we have like a timeline? Is it like a couple months? Do we know, Jeff? Or is it like what does settled mean? I just don't know.
Well, they were trying to clarify when the MDOT's going to do the work on 15 Mile Road to begin with, and wanted to coordinate all of that with the thing. But if it wasn't going to be done until next year or later, then as soon as this is settled enough, then they'll come in and
Great.
regrade and see it. Now, as to what MDOT does along there, I have no idea.
We have a plan for that fire station well. Does anybody talk about that, or if we're not gonna use it, now would be the time to abandon it, I would
Well, it
think.
wasn't just a fire station well. I have a feeling that it's the well that serves here too. But
Plugged now.
there's it's plugged where the fire station went off of it. Yes, that's for sure.
I guess,
There were 2 wells out there, and one was to fill the fire trucks. If the fire chief was here, he probably could answer it better, but one was to fill the fire trucks. My understanding, that one we plugged years ago, but it's still out there. We did not abandon it, near as I can tell. So we'll have to seek clarification of that. We're not going to be able to do that right here. So
so do you think we have more than one well servicing this building?
one well. We had one well servicing this. We had one well that served this station or this building, and we had the well that filled the fire trucks before we had Station One built there, when there was just a station here.
Right, so the one that feeds this building, I think, is the one that's protected by those two concrete filled pipes.
We'll get that clarified.
Anything else? All right, referral none, motion to approve the following agenda items. Is there anything that anybody wants to pull out separately?
So item 2, really, we can really pull that from the agenda because the letter doesn't need additional approval. It was approved last meeting.
I'll second that.
Well, was that a motion to,
Motion to remove agenda old unfinished business, which to approve the letter prepared by the attorney.
okay, and you're seconding it?
Yeah.
I'll have a roll call vote on that.
Okay. Trustee Woods,
Yes.
trustee Wright,
Yes.
supervisor Bossert.
Yes,
I'll vote yes. Treasurer Kowalski,
Yes.
5 yes.
okay, and then we'll go on to old business, unfinished business, and the first one is the minutes of,
I'll make a motion to approve items 1, the minutes with the additions suggested by the treasurer that were listed. Item 3, item 4, and item 5.
I'll second that.
okay. And then so is there anything with the minutes? I mean, they're pretty well spelled out when. Number 1, 2 is out. Number 3, checks issued amount of $265,760.16, and that's attached.
And I just want to make a comment because during tax time, you're gonna see these lists be higher. And the reason for it is the system automatically lists checks we write. So that everybody knows what we're writing. And we're now writing checks. The distribution of property tax collections paid by the treasurer are being distributed through the general system so that we can use one system instead of a manual system, which we've used for years. And this is at the suggestion of the auditors. And then the tax fund, before those checks, when we process those checks, before they are released, the transfers made by the treasurer to the general fund to reimburse the general fund for those checks. So then it prints on our approval list.
Okay.
Okay. Move on to number 4, approval of ordinance 2025-1, consumers energy, gas and or electric franchise ordinance attached. Ms. Greg, if you'd like to.
Good evening, board members. Greg Moore, Community Affairs Manager with Consumers Energy. So tonight you have before you a consolidated gas and electric franchise. We actually have 2 with the township. I believe it's the electric franchise is up this year, next month, and the gas franchise is expiring in a couple of years. So normally what I try to do just for record keeping purposes, making it easier for both us and for you, as well as publishing costs and any other costs associated with it, attorney fees, things like that, trying to combine them into one franchise as we go. So this is, I've had 14 this year. Of those, there were 9 that were combinable, and all 9 are being combined this year in my region. So basically, what all this is, it's probably the shortest agreement you'll ever see with Consumers Energy, front and back, and most of its signatures on the back. So it basically is just the constitutional statutory approval to allow us to continue to do business in the township. So this is not new, it's a renewal. So normally a 30-year period is the longest you can go under the law without taking a vote of the people. And we do have some franchises. City of Battle Creek, for example, has a perpetual franchise that was approved by the voters, decades and decades ago. So the term really, it's for convenience. Again, if I hear you've taken it down to 10 years, that's fine. It just makes it come up more often, and there's more costs associated with it when you do that. But we're not going to, quibble about years. The provisions of the township, the term, again, under section 1 is whatever you decide you want it to be. The conditions are that we basically obstruct nothing in this township longer than we have to do the job that we need to get done. And if something breaks, we fix it, put it back to as good or better condition. We absolve the township and hold you harmless from any responsibility because it's not your stuff and you're not the one that's out there doing it. We also agree to extend our services, both gas and electric, according to the tariffs that we have filed with the Public Service Commission to any customer in the township. And it would be obviously at their cost, but we will agree to extend. The franchise is not exclusive, so anybody that wishes to offer electric service can do so if they have a franchise with you. Section 6 is the rates and conditions. I see you have another franchise coming up after this one. This one's a little different because our rates and terms are controlled by the Public Service Commission. So many times we're asked, why don't you pay a franchise fee like Comcast or AT&T? And the reason is because our rates are set at the state level, not at the local level. So anytime we have a franchise, we would have to have individual rates for every single community we do business in, and the Public Service Commission's not going to do that. Nobody wants to see a Marshall Township electric rate specifically. So, and again, it's revocable. So regardless of how many years it is, whether it's 10, 20, or 30 years, 60 days notice, it's revocable. And then we let the attorneys go to work and do what attorneys do. Again, and rate just reiterates that we're under Michigan Public Service Commission jurisdiction for all our rates, terms, and conditions and regulations. The Section 9 repealer will come into play on this one because we are combining, again, the gas and electric. So assuming it's approved, on the date that it goes into effect, whatever date you choose, the gas franchise will be repealed and they will both be running concurrently on the same dates. And again, the effective date normally for if you're going to publish, you can do it 30, 45 days out, whatever you're comfortable with once it's published, and we will cover the publishing cost. So once you get a bill for that, just send it to me and we'll take care of that and get the township reimbursed. But you can make that if it's 30 days out or, like I said, 45 days out. And that's pretty much it. It doesn't give us any special, allowances to use township property or not get permits or anything else like that. We still have to operate. If we're operating within the public right of way, we have to get the permits from the county or the state. If we're asking to use the township, we have to get variances or easements from you, just like we would from any property owner. We would do, rerunning lines or pipelines across. So that's pretty much it. Any questions?
When was the previous franchise enacted? The current one that we're on right now.
Yeah, the electric run runs through, I believe I had it here somewhere.
When did it start?
Pardon?
When did it begin?
Was it 30 years?
Ago. Yeah, 30 years
That's a
ago.
30-year.
Yeah, so the electric franchise expires September 6th of this year, gas of December 17th of 31. So this was 30 years ago, 2005. A while.
And just some of the public comments. Is it for the entire township? Is it?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know if it was specific or, okay.
Yeah, there are communities where we only do parts of a township or part of a community, but in this case, we provide service to the whole township. like, if you do approve it tonight and you want, I can, if you want to make a copy, I can take it and file it. So you don't have to mess around sending it, nor if you have to take another meeting to do that, whichever you'd like.
Thank you.
As I did state, this sent this to the township attorney. The township attorney reviewed it, and the only suggestion they made was that instead of that they are recommending on all their franchise agreements that they be 10-year agreements instead of the full 30-year franchise agreements. And so we changed this to be 10 years. And it will be better to monitor if both of them expire at the same time. That'll be helpful.
All right, we'll move on to the approval of the uniform video service local franchise agreement requested by DirecTV.
This one is also a renewal. And it does have a larger service area than they had because of some sort of they merge all the time and get bought all the time, and they had something to do with AT&T. I think they took over some of their stuff. This was also sent to the township attorney, and the township attorney said, in this particular case, this is the standard agreement that the state of Michigan prescribes. This franchise is under a different act than a consumer's franchise agreement, for as an example is. And he said this one is for 10 years, and the attorney firm said that this does renew under the existing fees and conditions. And they recommend that we approve it.
Can I just ask a question because of lack of knowledge, but I was just curious, like with this type of franchise agreement, is it like everyone in the township, or I mean, the service area, they can only get DirecTV or
No.
but it's just saying DirecTV can use the right of way for those.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was just a question I had.
And does the township, I was trying to understand the fees. So in part 6A, it says 5%. I didn't really understand all. Equal to the percentage of gross revenue as established by the franchising entity of 5%. 5% of their gross revenue?
Yeah, for customers in the township
Right.
that they get for customers, and 5% is the max that's permitted by law.
And that was under fees, and then there's another section, TEG fees,
Yeah, it's got to do.
public education or something.
Yeah, it's educational thing, and it was not applicable. And under apparently the instructions that they received from the state, they leave it blank if it's not applicable.
But is
As I asked that.
is that, so I guess my question is, I assume some communities do have a fee there and they
Yeah.
apply it to, generally reserved for educational programming, public education, government channel.
I think when you hearken back to the to the cable, there's like public acts, got something to do with the public access. Greg, you probably helped write the law. If my memory served me right, so if.
Public access, like.
I might have.
At the time when we were doing that, there was concern that the funding would be going away. And so that was inserted to make sure that stations like Access Vision and one in Jackson continue to get their fees. And they can continue to exist.
All right, I guess we'll move on to any other matters that may be brought before the board. No?
I guess just one thing, I got, Joanna had sent something about, getting things to the website, for the planning commission. And so I just want to make sure, like, we're in agreement of what the proper channel is to get that updated, because in the past, I believe we, Rick, uploads things to the thing, but there was a lot of people doing it, so we're like, it needs to go through a board member, is that correct, when we first got in? And so then, or Carl, and I think we said Carl's going to upload things to the website, is that correct?
Carl's gonna be trained on doing it so that he can do it in a backup capacity. Since he's only here 3 days a week.
Right.
He being trained would have no use to me of,
Yeah,
for example, of posting the board
Right.
agendas or anything. So we still have, the agreement through next end of March, with Dr. IT there. And they will continue to be the primary, but he'll also train Carl so that Carl can do it and also can back up on it.
okay. But in terms of like process and procedure, Joanna being on the head of the planning commission, should she send that to you and then you send it to Carl to get it, or should she go directly to Rick?
If you want it delayed a week or two or a month, that'd be a good way to do it. Otherwise, I would suggest we do it like has always been done. It will be sent to, there's a logging system that Rick has for it. And we have a list of people who are authorized to send things to them. And I didn't see anything that changed on that.
So,
So how has it always been done? And I guess that's because we've got this gap with the planning commission that's.
Well, I don't know why that gap occurred, because in the past, the planning commission sent sent it to the website to be posted.
Was that the
Simple as
planning
that.
commission or was that the zoning
I
administrator?
do not know, because I was not involved in that.
okay. So summarizing, I guess, Joanna, I guess send it directly to, I think it's like support, that support ninja,
Yeah,
that website, and then that
she's
will.
still, Joanna's still authorized.
Okay.
Wayne, I don't know if you,
It,
I mean, if Carl's gonna be trained, I can.
yeah.
yep, okay.
Well, the difference is, so, and I'm just gonna speak with this audio visual. I literally say, here's my link. It needs to go on the website here, and I send it to doing the support IT
Yeah.
ninja. He literally does it and I get a notification when it's done, and I can go back and take a look to make sure it's uploaded where I asked it to be uploaded.
For us to get anything posted, it's just a matter of sending an email, and whatever you want posted has to be sent in PDF. And then you send it to this specific email address, and then it gets logged in and it gets posted, and then you get notified if there's a problem or if it's been posted.
Right.
So it's just a matter of getting the right email. You're not actually posting it.
Right, so just so
Yeah.
we're separating things, there's someone who can post it, which is whatever the company's called.
Yeah.
And you can communicate with them through that email. Sounds like you've done it. I haven't. Is there a separate issue? So there was no notice for the last planning commission meeting. There still isn't. There was no packet. I saw this pop up today, a special meeting for tomorrow, but it just says there's a special meeting. It doesn't talk about like what the meeting is, in other words, I assume since it's a public meeting, you might want some input from people on the city's master plan or something if they knew about it. So I guess I wasn't, I mean, it just basically, it says there's a meeting, a special meeting on Tuesday, August 19th at 6 PM here. The agenda will be provided by the planning commission chairperson. Don't we want that packet to be on the website?
If there is a packet, I would think so.
And if there was a packet that like getting that information would then be, they would send that to
On that to the IT,
Ninja, and that would
to
then
the
get
website,
uploaded
request
to
it
the
be
thing.
posted.
So this looks like it got prepared by Carl. I'm just trying to understand who's doing what. Is this what we're wanting him to do, or, because I think that was, you know,
Question.
we had gone through this big job description and we talked about a lot of things, and I'm just trying to figure out what he does and what he doesn't do. Because I know what he does. I know he doesn't do anything with taxes anymore.
I think the thing is, it, on the job description, so one, as I think Jeff said, if you want it to take it longer, he can compile, he can take the template and put the, you know, if you say, these are the agenda items, right? Put this, you know, put this together, here's the information to combine it together. He can do that, but that understanding that he works Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is when he has time to do that, I think was one thing. But if you already have the things, those items ready to just be uploaded to that website, then I think you go directly to the support IT Ninja. Going through Carl at that point would be an extra step because he's not preparing anything. He's literally just communicating the same thing that you would to Rick.
Right, but that's my question, because it looks like Carl prepared this, so I'm just trying to
Yeah, I told him
understand.
to prepare it, to get it, to get the notice posted so that the planning commission wasn't in violation of the statute. You know.
The same thing with zoning, I guess.
I was a
zoning-
little confused because I got stuff sent to me, which I had never been sent before.
So like this, I guess you brought up the zoning board of appeals. How does that get posted? Because it seems like it should be out there. We already picked a date. It should be out there.
Well, I just received the parcel numbers that are involved, and Joanna sent those late last week, if I recall correctly. I got those, and so I'm putting together the agenda for the meeting,
Okay.
even though it's way ahead of time, and it'll be posted. And Carl tomorrow will be working on sending the notices to the 300 footers, I call them, the 300 footers and the owners.
Okay. Okay, that was part of my question, yep.
Can I ask, okay, Joanna, yeah, that's fine.
Hello again. So let me share or enlighten all of us, I think, on some of this communication channels. I think that might be very, very helpful. I have the job description for the office manager here. So it is my intention as your PC chair that I've been routing since the approval of the office manager job description, going back to what Clerk Albaugh just mentioned. I've been routing everything to him on behalf of the planning commission because he assigns the duties to the office manager.
You're
And
correct.
I'm just reading. Go ahead.
I just want you to know that's incorrect.
Okay.
I don't assign. The duties are assigned by the board under that, and I generally supervise the office manager position. I don't sit there and nursemaid him with daily assignments.
I just,
So you would like her to send the stuff directly to him?
Well, you know, we
That's
can make this as complicated as we want, or we can make it as simple as
Right,
we
and
want.
that's,
And all I'm saying is that that if it goes direct to Carl from whoever's requesting it and it's within his job description, he should be doing it. And that would be the simplest way to do it, and to make sure that it's done promptly and timely on a timely basis. Otherwise, if it's routed through me, I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna take, you know, because it's gonna come with all the other 50, 60 emails that I get daily.
I can certainly, again, I'm just going based on my understanding, that it says the clerk may assign those I mean, I'm just going from what's in the job description. So that's how I took it. Frankly, I know that Clerk Alba doesn't want to micromanage, but I don't want to manage the office manager either. So we need some support. We were filling in from a PC level, as this board knows, because we had a gap. I think the zoning administrator did a lot of this. So we were doing notices. Frankly, I did them with our vice chair as well. On behalf of the PC, we were going directly to Ninja IT, which have been great, by the way. We've been able to work through a lot of different things. But it's my intention, if it takes longer, then so be it. But it's my intention that the clerk can assign those duties as need be. And frankly, we've been hearing about training for the office manager for the last year and a half. Somebody pick up the phone and get it scheduled. Or that individual, the office manager, can route the stuff to IT. I think that keeps that person in the know of what's going on, what's on the website. That's just my position as your PC chair. And related to the posting for the special meeting, I just advised that we had a special meeting. Frankly, there's what needs to be on that is specifically according to the act, if I'm not mistaken. The agenda and the topics don't necessarily have to be on there, but place, time, et cetera. And we were working on the agenda as well. So now that's been completed. As it relates to the zoning board of appeals and the parcel numbers, we had to work with our attorney to make sure that we had all that full clarification. I did express on behalf of the zoning map review committee that potentially if there were issues, I'm not sure what the newspaper deadlines are or any of those items that are on there. If we had to push back that meeting, we could certainly do that so that we could get the notices out. But from my position as your PC chair, I have been routing everything to the clerk to then assign and manage the duties of the office manager. So that's just what I have been doing. That is so that that individual can do what's, in my mind, has been acted on. So I'm not trying to be difficult. I was trying to just follow the chain of command.
So I think I heard something that kind of concerns me, and it kind of comes back to all the discussions we had about this, but who is, I think Dave, you had the monthly report taken out of the wording of the contract. I thought that might be a good way to communicate on what Carl is doing, but it doesn't sound like anybody knows what Carl's doing. Is that?
No,
Do we not, how are we managing his time?
he's obviously, I think part of it, we do get like, we're able to see by this, the permit listings
Yeah.
in here. So we have the permitting. We get, essentially we know to get notices based on the availability of people being able to contact and get answers and questions at the township office of like things aren't being answered at there by phones not being picked up. We would know if people weren't being aren't getting that information. I think what we're just saying here is it's not so much about micromanaging someone's time. We're trying to make sure that the things that need to happen in the township are getting done. And so with this, it's just making sure that the process is here. I would say in this case, and I could see how that could be read that way, Joanna, that give it to Jeff, and then Jeff, and I hear what Jeff's saying, like it just is going to take extra time, which in some of these cases, like this meeting, you don't have a lot of time to be given. So I think it's one of those things of like, if I already have this stuff and it just needs to be on the website, IT Ninja is the fastest route to get that there. If it's something where I need someone to put something together, That's something on that job description that's there. You give the information to Carl. You can CC Jeff to let him know that he's also doing this if that makes you feel, feel better about that, so that Jeff is aware of that responsibility on that. But I think at that point, that would make the most sense in terms of being quick to get the answers that you need. I don't know, James.
Yeah, and I think, a lot of the stuff can go just directly to Carl, like the notices, and because he's gonna get those out, and he's gonna be going through the 300-foot things. He's gonna be doing.
It's gonna be getting what notices out?
The 300-foot notices
Oh.
on the ZBA.
Right.
So I asked a question and didn't get, I got a long
The answer is.
statement, but it didn't answer my question.
I did. My answer
No,
to
you
the
didn't,
question.
you didn't answer your question. No one knows how many times the phone gets answered.
So for example, I was a lifeguard for many years. Several years I was a lifeguard. There was only one time where I had to jump in and use an AED machine on a person. Now, should my job
Has to do with
description,
the office, man.
I'm gonna tell you this right now, because if someone's, like my job is to make sure that the pool is a safe environment for people to be there and swim and actively do things. I'm watching it, I'm doing it, but most of the time I'm sitting in a chair, waiting, watching and doing it. The office manager in this case is there on hand at any given time for a resident from Monday through Wednesday, from 8:45 to 3:30, for them to be able to take the needs of the township. Now, is his time going to be 100% all the time? No. But if someone is there, if there's needs, if there's things that need to be done within that job description, he's going to be doing that. And it's not so much that it's like every single moment, it's because that's what we wanted that position to be. We wanted someone to be available for residents.
Well, we didn't necessarily. You may have, but at the end of the day, the analogy is terrible because a lifeguard is there for one single purpose, and that's to make sure people are safe.
Right.
You can be in any part of this building and hear the phone ring. My point is that if there's a lot of free time, there's a lot of things that we can do at the township with that time. And I know for a fact, as I spent a lot of time in the office, that Carl has a lot of free time. And I have spent a lot of time in the office. So my concern is I'm hearing there's no supervision. There's no list of things to do. There's no monthly report. Dave, you wanted that out for some reason. You didn't explain yourself. My concern is we have an employee that we're paying pretty well and we don't know what he's doing.
Well, we've talked about it the last few months. We voted on it. I think that is where the board has made its decisions. But in terms of this item that I added was to figure out the process for that. So I think we answered the question about what is the process for handling getting a notification out.
Did it answer your question, Joanna?
Thank you. Sorry for, opening up Pandora's box again or something.
You're good.
Yeah, I think, I'll be honest with you. I mean, my preference would be to run things through the clerk to assign the duties on behalf of the PC as noted. Better yet, I think this might be time for us to reconsider having a full-time zoning administrator, but we'll save that conversation for a whole nother day. What I will do along with our vice chair and secretary is that if there is stuff that's completed that can go directly to the website, then we will send it directly to Ninja. I think I got that right, Ninja IT. I do compel this board to please get the training scheduled for the office manager, please. And then the second part of that is if there's, I'm going to separate the ZBA because that's different. Clerk Alba also serves as a secretary for the ZBA. So let's parcel that conversation out. But the items related to the PC that need to be, the postings, the notices on behalf of the planning commission, I will route those to the clerk and to, or we will, I should say, to the office manager. And we'll put a timeline on it. I think that's important too. And maybe a review of the documents in advance. I think that might be helpful as a learning opportunity for expectations as well. So the answer to that, Supervisor Bozzard, is I think so. If not, I'll ask again.
Okay. Is there any discussion on the agenda items by board members? We're ready for roll call though.
Okay, this will be on the approval of items 1, 3, 4, and 5. Trustee Wright,
Yes.
Supervisor Bozzard,
Yes.
I'll vote yes. Treasurer Kowalski,
Yes.
Trustee Woods,
Yes.
5 yes.
This time we'll open it up to public comments.
Wayne Slide, Marshall Township. Just a question on escrow accounts. Do we know anything about an escrow account on Nextera? If there is,
I just sent to, you'll get it
Wait a
when you
minute.
get home. And Joanna and Dwayne, I found the policy that the board adopted apparently in 2017 pursuant to the ordinance. So there, you got copies of those. Then under separate cover are the 3 escrow accountings that I found in Paul's files. One was for Nextera or whatever it is, the solar.
city,
One is for consumers and one is for Meta for the Fire Station 1.
do you know any,
And I've sent those to you all and to Gail as well.
you know anything about an escrow account for the gravel pit on J Drive?
No,
Because we found in our ordinance, when the pit was approved, there was supposed to have been $5,000 or $10,000. Can't remember if it was $5,000 or $10,000 upfront for the first 5 acres mined. Then every year after that, at the beginning of the year, the township's supposed to be collecting $2,000 per acre that's being mined as for a reclamation. So we don't, apparently we haven't been doing that. Okay, we'll probably have to look into that.
we've never received anything.
Yeah. So that probably was never done. And also that we're supposed to be doing, our zoning administrator is supposed to be doing a minimum of twice yearly inspections on the pit. So, which would, those fees would probably come out of the escrow, I would think, but. So we don't think there's an escrow. We'll have to figure out what we'll do on that.
We just, no, the auditors are pretty thorough about, more thorough than some surgical procedures that I'm aware of, but there was no,
Yeah, we'll look it
There's
up.
not-
We'll-
there's none on those books and along that line, I did talk to the auditors about getting those. We're trying to get these manual standalone
Mhm.
systems that have been out there for years into the general ledger.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
So who manages these escrow accounts?
In the past, the zoning administrator.
Thank you, Dwayne, for that. I think, yeah, trying to figure out who manages that, and I think you're right. I mean, Clerk Alban to get that on the general ledger. I'll be interested to see. I have not seen the email that you sent, but
It just
I'll look at it.
was
We'll
about
look at
20
it.
to 7.
Just a couple other minor things I want to make mention is, maybe I missed it. Is there a report from the sheriff's office in the packet or no report this month?
No report.
Okay,
He said he will give us a July, he owes us for July and August when he gets back to work.
Okay. I did on behalf of myself and others, put in a request. I didn't hear back from them, so maybe we will see next month or something if they've followed up on it. So this is related to the truck traffic on 15 Mile Road. So I just hadn't heard even a response back, so I was curious.
I will tell you, Hoffman Brothers themselves sat in a parking lot that we own on 15 Mile Road and watched the trucks and said, if there's any speeding trucks, they will not be working tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, and they're pretty adamant about that.
Yeah, and frankly, Dwayne mentioned the gravel pit. They've been good to work with. I mean, really, I mean, you can call them up and usually they're trying really hard to be neighborly, if you will. It's just, it got a little interesting there for a while. So we shared and did a report to the sheriff's department. And that's where we found that initially what we had on our website wasn't quite right, and they fine tuned it. I think Glenn helped us out with that as well. So I just didn't hear anything, so I was just kind of curious. Okay, well, maybe that'll show up in their next report.
I'll ask him, I'll
Okay.
send him an email and
Okay.
ask that he address that in
Okay.
September.
Yeah, again, we're not trying to be like, after all
No.
the trucks or anything. It's just,
You're not the only one. I know, like, when I was at the fire board, Van Arman brought that up as well, and Bob Ling, I know, he's like, oh, I called them right after that meeting. So I know that multiple people have said something about the trucks on 15 Mile.
Yeah.
But I think it's good to,
and it's not just to Blue Oval. I mean, they're, obviously they're going I-90, I-69, other areas too. So again, I'm not picking on one industry or anything. It's just in general. And then my last and final item is our member and Commissioner Woods mentioned the survey. We do have that ready to go. I'm really not sure where we are with MailChimp, but we're going to proceed forward. I appreciate the feedback that I did get. My understanding is we will have a part 2 related to maybe township business questions on that as well. But we're set to go, and looking forward to having this body assist us in disseminating that survey and getting that out. So we hope to create, if MailChimp isn't ready, we'll do something on SurveyMonkey, and then also have some nice printed versions, and maybe we can figure out mailings and some of that stuff. So more to come on that. I just want to make sure that you're aware.
we approved the MailChimp back in, I want to say, was it June or was it May or June?
I think it was May.
May. So I know we have approved it. I did have, so I guess my question is, what would be the next steps in that you guys need in order to use that?
So, and I can take it offline here and talk through that, but we really need to have an account that's the Township MailChimp. And then our IT folks, if you might recall, they advised that they would work without additional fees to integrate that within our website. And then, of course, I would think, again, I'm probably overstepping, but the office manager would be trained on how to
Yes.
utilize that. And that could go at the same time, maybe with the website.
Yeah.
Again, not trying to overreach. So we need that to proceed forward, because if we don't have a MailChimp account, the website people can't work on it, and then we can't build the survey within the platform.
And then last question with that, sorry, Joanna.
It's
I know
okay.
this is your time, so I apologize.
No, it's okay.
When are you guys hoping to have that sent out? When do you need the board to have their questions? Was a question I had.
Bear with me because I thought I sent it out. So like ASAP.
ASIC.
Yeah, like tomorrow. We did send out, again, it doesn't have to be. You guys, again, I don't want to, we were just thinking that if we were going to do one, that potentially we could have a part A and a part B, and you're soliciting the same people instead of doing it twice. So if you want to, you can. If you don't, you don't. But we could just, I sent out some draft questions, and assuming that they're fine, we were going to just proceed. I mean, I don't think it's anything earth shattering, just, general questions about township operations. I can resend that out if you want, but that was my way long answer of saying yesterday is when we would like
So
that.
sorry. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Any other board member comments? All right. Yes, we're adjourned.
I guess, do we jump from public comments to board member comments? Is that what we did?
Well, yeah,
Did you close public comment or?
Well, I didn't see any more, so I moved to board member comments and,
Okay, so
Wayne.
I have some comments
okay.
I'd like to make. So, I did meet with, Senator Albert, this week here at the town hall. Dave, you were invited and chose not to show, but it was a good meeting. I think, we gave him a lot of input in terms of, what we've been through, the secrecy at the state level, the county level. Um, he did indicate that he had voted against, the SOARS, funding of the mega site. He did say at the early on of his time in office, he did support the SOARS program. He now understands that was a mistake. He's also supportive of completely dismantling MEDC. I kind of gave him a perspective of all of the things that have happened, that have been abnormal, including the fire station where we started the discussion. So it was a good discussion. I think he came away with a better understanding of what we've been through. Also Mundy Township, Green Township, this is not unique to us by any means. Wanted to bring that up.
I guess one thing I'd like to bring up is, we had the Calhoun County Fair this last weekend, and it was the first time my kids had participated in that, but it was really, really exciting. And so I just, I guess, about how the community really like gathers around, kids going into agriculture and, really being very supportive of, Future Farmers of America and 4-H and that program. And so it just, was very touching to see how many people and how many businesses within the community really came out and were there and supported. So, I just wanted to thank the community for their support in that and just, the continued support in agriculture.
Any other board member comments? Before I adjourn? Adjourn.